Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl Nancy from Avid Magazine. Today it is Takeover Tuesdays, and today we are featuring a very special business, Basal Solutions. So, before we get to our live, I did want to remind you guys to continue to remain positive during this time. Continue to take time out for yourself, continue to work on yourself, continue to find things and do things that can make you and your business better during this time. These are all times where we need each other. We need to rely on each other. If you haven't checked on anyone in a couple of days, send them a text, call them, check on them, because we are stronger together than we are apart. I'm super excited about today. This is our second episode of Takeover Tuesdays. And Takeover Tuesdays, we pretty much feature business owners, and we pretty much give others an opportunity to showcase their products and showcase their businesses. So today we have with us Mr. Branden Morris of Basal Solutions. So I'll tell you a little bit about Branden because y'all know he sent me his bio. So Branden is the co-owner of Basal Solutions and Basal Construction. He has a long history in business management, banking finance, supply chain management, and real estate. His focus is providing companies with best practices in financial and business development. He is skilled at performing needs analysis with client users and key management in the areas of technology, time and attendance, human resources, information, and financial systems. He is experienced in team development, conflict resolution, and negotiation skills. Branden currently consults on best practices for startups and established businesses. And he has a long list of things that he has had experience in. So I'll just read a few of them and then I'll allow him to expound more on those. So, of course, he has a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. He has an MBA in Marketing. He has 9 years of experience in banking, 2 years of experience in oil and gas, 10 years experience of working with nonprofits, 5 years of experience as an art gallery director. He was also a graduate of the Leadership Houston Class 30. He was appointed on Mayor Sylvester Turner's transition team for economic opportunity. He is currently serving on the MBE Input Committee for the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council and also on the Business Development Committee for the East End Chamber of Commerce. Everybody, I introduce Mr. Branden Morris. How you doing today, Branden?
I'm good, Nancy. Thank you for having me. I appreciate Avid Magazine inviting me to speak with you guys today.
Yay, we are so excited and so happy to have you with us today. I'm really excited because, of course, you are one of the best business consultants. So I was just proud and so happy of the opportunity that you would even join us on live today, because I know I have a lot of great questions for you, but I'm pretty sure there are questions that other business owners may have as well.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, anything that I can do to help. I love to support small businesses. Working with small business owners are my passion, because I feel like as a small business owner myself, we're all in the struggle together. And small businesses are the backbone of the economy here in America. So I am a champion for small businesses in every way that you can think of.
Well, we thank you for your service. So tell us a little bit about Basal Solutions.
So Basal Solutions is a consulting firm, a business consulting firm that focuses on marketing, Lean Six Sigma, IT, and project management. It is actually part of a holding company called MH Basal Group. And underneath that holding company, in addition to Basal Solutions, we have Basal Construction. which does, commercial and residential construction, ground up, beginning to end. We've had contracts in the past with on the consulting side with places like NASA, Harris County, the city of Houston, Chrysler. On the construction side, with people like Project Row Houses, the PRH Preservation. And on the construction side, we're a part of a program called Ascend Houston, which is a program sponsored by the city of Houston, supported by Lift Fund and JP Morgan Chase, to basically help our construction company grow to becoming a prime one day with the city of Houston.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Basal Construction.
We're trying to make some moves. We got to try to stay as relevant as possible because the thing is, this is Houston. I really don't see competition in Houston. I see opportunities for collaboration because we're all going for the same goal. And if we're not big enough or if you're not big enough as one company, you can always collaborate with another company who has, a similar mindset, a similar desire to succeed and want to get it to form a larger entity so that everybody wins.
You know what? That's some really, really good advice that you stated. I think often, not enough, we do not collaborate with other businesses. It's like everyone is trying to be for themselves when if we really work together, we can all win.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's a really, really good tip. I find that, most people in business, when you're working on a project, they're kind of like, I don't know. I think I should just do it on my own. And oftentimes it doesn't work because that wasn't really, your area and someone else is good in the area. But if you collaborate together, then it's a win-win situation.
Well, some of the contracts that we go after, both on the construction side and the consulting side, are pretty big. And though we do have teams in both entities, I have a team of consultants for Basal Solutions that, has specialties in Lean Six Sigma. We have a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt that covers that area. We have a young lady who has been in marketing for over 30 years who holds that area down. We got an IT guy who has been in IT for the past 20 years and does a lot of things with that. On the construction side, we have guys who've been in construction all their lives. So, and with those teams, we're still not big enough to typically either bid on or win some of the larger contracts, right?
Hmm.
So what we end up doing is in pre-bid meetings and other circles where we can network with other, businesses similar to ours, we're trying to find out as much about them. We're letting them know about us. And, hey, let's look at this huge contract that either the city or the county or some large company is putting out. And let's look at how we can, break it down to say, okay, I know we're really good at this part, so we'll handle this part. We know that you are really good at this part, so you handle that part, this, that, and the third. And let's choose one of the companies to put it under because, it's not like the people putting out the bid want like a conglomerate per se. They just want one company to be the face and then other companies to basically, work with that or partner with that company. So, it's the prime subprime relationship, but it's really all semantics because at the end of the day, you're charging your prices. It's not like you're having to take these huge discounts or whatever like that. And then to be quite honest with you, the only other thing that would come into play is ego. If you don't have an ego, my name doesn't have to be the prime on the contract. I'm still getting paid. We're still getting the experience with the client. So you got to look at the bigger picture. And that's one thing I do like about the Houston small business environment is you have a lot of that. You have a lot of companies that are willing to do just that. You have a lot of organizations that Houston provides or this Houston small business community provides that really truly helps with educating the small business owners on just those type of things. I mean, you got the SBA, you got the SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Association. They got one over there on Fannin in Midtown. You got the MBDA, the Minority Business Development Association. They're housed in Midtown as well in partnership with HCC, Houston Community College. You got the different chambers, you know, the Houston Black Chamber, the East End Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, any number of chambers that are always are hosting events to bring small businesses together to, let's collaborate, let's talk, let's share our tips with each other so that we can become stronger as a unit so that we can get some of these bigger contracts. So yeah, I love doing business in this environment down here. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah, you stated some good resources that I know a lot of people don't know about. Funny story for me was when I first started in business. I started in a different city and then I moved back to Houston, where I'm from, H-Town. But I didn't know about all of the resources available until I had already been in business a couple of years. So there are a lot of resources out there, and a lot of people just don't know about it. But you did give us some good resources. So I hope all of you were taking notes.
Yeah, and just know that if you would like some more information, you can always DM me, and I'll get back with you. You can get at me with my email address as Branden, Branden at basalsolutionsllc.com, and I'll definitely get back with you. But the resources are here, and oftentimes the only investment that they require is your time. Now, there are some that do, take a small fee, but at the end of the day, what's it worth to you to invest in your business, in your business's success? So, you have to kind of rationalize that as you need to.
Yes. So I know that I've worked with you and you've helped me so much in my business just by, helping me put things together. And one of the things that your company has for their tagline is, we help optimize your business. And that is true. So tell us a little bit about the steps if anyone is interested in doing any consulting with Basal Solutions.
So what I would suggest is I actually, and you mentioned this briefly earlier, one of the programs that I provide business consulting services through is the Houston Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center. The Houston Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center has a program called Small Business University. Typically, it's a 12 to 14-week program where you're able to come and participate in weekly class sessions, typically on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30. Quite obviously, we're all virtual at this particular point. So if you were to go to the Houston Urban League, that's HAUL.org website and go to the Small Business Development, the Entrepreneurship Center, or look for keywords Small Business Development, you can find out more information. Or you can email Philip Yates directly. That's pyates@hall.org. Or email me, and I'll send you information on when the classes are. And we send out a Zoom link every Wednesday where there's a keynote speaker talking about different aspects of entrepreneurship, basically a subject matter expert. So one week you may have an attorney, one week you may have an accountant, one week you may have a marketing executive, one week you may have, someone who deals with, financial statements and whatnot. And the other point of going through that class is Philip, the program coordinator, gives homework assignments to try to help you keep pace with different important aspects of business strategy around your particular business. The other thing that the program provides are my services. So basically, by coming through the program, you don't have to pay me directly to get consulting services, okay? I will allot you an hour a week if you want to keep up with it. And basically, I give my own homework assignments because at the end of the day, this is about your, entrepreneurial evolution. This is about you being successful in whatever that business is that you have or that you want to start. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have started the business yet. In fact, there are some people in the class who, they just know they want to start a business. They're not, exactly sure what they want to do or how to go about even figuring out what they should do. Consultants connected to the program like myself, like Yemi, like Philip, several others. We can walk you through that process and figuring out, maybe what is it that, you should be doing. So it's a really good program. When we're able to meet in person on Wednesday nights, they provide food, catered food, so it's really nice. And then there's a culmination at the end where we have a what's called the Small Business Exchange, where you have the opportunity to enroll in the business plan pitch competition. This competition, you'll have a chance. You have to submit a 1-minute pitch via video to see if you can make it into the final round. The final round is 3 minutes, where you can use a PowerPoint presentation or something like that, and you have the opportunity to win up to $10,000 in cash. Not only that, but the people who attend this pitch competition, the people who are judges for this pitch competition, they're people that you want to talk about your business in front of. These are small business stakeholders. These are, financiers, investors. These are potential clients or customers. These are people that you want to hear what you're doing or what you want to do, because they could be of some assistance in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's just all around a really good program. Based on how well you do in the program, some people are encouraged to pitch on the national level, because the Urban League is a national nonprofit and they have a national pitch competition. A couple of people from Houston actually won in national. So, that's going against, everybody in the United States for the most part. So it's a really good program. But like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. So, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, my approach, as Nancy, can tell you, my approach is I'm telling you the things that I do. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm this big baller millionaire or anything like that. I got my wins. I take them L's every once in a while. But at the end of the day, I learn from those L's, and you make adjustments so you can win. Don't believe the hype, and a lot of these successful entrepreneurs you see in the magazines and on TV and everything like that, like they never went through bumps and bruises. Quite frankly, a lot of them had several unsuccessful businesses before they hit that one that took them to the top. Okay, a lot of them went bankrupt first. A lot of them, they had to shut down whatever they were on the path of and try something completely different. But the thing is, you're not going to really truly learn until you actually go through it, right? Entrepreneurship is about being brave. It's about being a little, loco in the cabeza, right? It's about, hey, look, let me tell you something. I believe in something so much, and I believe in myself so much, that I'm going to get out there and I'm going to give it a go. And you're going to learn some things real time. And it's good to have a support system of entrepreneurs, like people at the Entrepreneurship Center at the Urban League, like the people at the NBDA, the HMSCC, different chambers of commerce, so they can get in your ear and say, hey, look, check it out. I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. You might want to consider this, that, and the third. Why? Because I've been through it. Why? Because I'm telling you, that's how you achieve your goals. Getting involved, plug into the network, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and applying it to yourself. So, yeah, I know I can ramble on all day, but I had to drop that little nugget because, look, let me tell you something. That's what we have to do, is encourage our entrepreneur brothers and sisters, because if we don't, who else will? Especially if you're a solopreneur. Let me tell you, I got business partners, right? If I didn't have business partners to constantly encourage me or pick me up on those days when things ain't working right and stuff like that, because every day is not roses. This is working for yourself. This is like, look, let me tell you something. I'm in a business where I got to rely on submitting invoices and people paying me on time. Well, as any entrepreneur will tell you, people don't like to pay on time. It's just one of those things. You got to do your best to try to manage that and tip the scales in your favor to get paid on time. But it doesn't always work out, especially when you're working with bigger corporations or bigger entities, So, there are times when I haven't been paid in 2-3 months, and I'm sitting there like, okay, look, I got that Indeed app. I could go on there and, throw that resume out there, see if I can get a job for the man and everything. And then all of a sudden, within like the next 7 days, I got 5, 6 big checks that changed the whole complexion of my account. I'm like, whoo, thank Lord, I'm back. I'm back, baby, and you reinvigorated, right? You got to be able to weather those ups and downs, those waves. You know what I'm saying? Be careful who your circle is. Be careful who you're talking to. You can't talk to every W-2 employee-minded friend, relative, or whatever about things that you're going through. They don't understand it. They don't.
Not at all.
They don't. They don't understand the. It's not always all about the money. There's a reason why I'm working for myself. Why? Because, okay, I know we're quarantined right now. We can't go to the office or nothing like that, but I got an option to go to the office. You see what I'm saying? But I don't have to get permission from a boss to take this interview and just that and the third. I want to walk outside and chill for a minute. I don't need to clock out for a break. You see what I'm saying? That's value. That is value. You see what I'm saying? I can work 12, 1 o'clock at night for myself, invested in myself if I want to. But at the end of the day, I can go on and on, give it back to you, Nancy.
No, that was good. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I started Avid. I was like, man, you got a lot of people out here that are for themselves, and I want to do something that can kind of, bring everybody together. So all of this that you're saying, all of these gems that you dropping on us today, they are very good. Like, I can't even disagree with anything that you just said, because even for me right now, I'm like, whatever I got to do to take this business to the next level, that's what I'm going to do. If it's doing homework, if it's making posters and charts, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to go talk to people and make cold calls or cold emails, it really comes down to how bad do you want it?
Yep, that's
How
true.
bad do you want it? One of my favorite influencers that I like to watch, and I found him a few years back, is Eric Thomas, and he was like, "How bad do you want it?
Exactly.
You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe." And
Mm-hmm.
that has always stuck in my head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, that's part of what's gonna keep you going when times get rough. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because think of it like this: if you quit, then you're guaranteed not to succeed. You don't even know what you could have done because you quit. This is a game of attrition. If you can last, you're that one big sale away. You're that one big contract away. You're that one big awesome opportunity away. But if you close up shop, you'll never get it.
yeah. Brandon, we got a question. Someone said, "Do you have any motivational books that you recommend?"
Motivational books. So I am about, I don't know, halfway through a book written by Ed Ryland, who is a local entrepreneur. He owns a pretty large African American owned commercial real estate company. And
Mm-hmm.
he came out with a book a few months ago, and I can't remember the name of the book, but it's a good book, and it focuses on how to succeed as a minority-owned business, on some larger levels, really. You see what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you have to be open to having those high-level conversations and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, there are so many times that I've walked into a room and I don't know anybody there, and not everybody looks like me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like one of those things where, but I smell the money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like a little rat, it smells that little cheese. I smell the money in the room. So you can't be scared to walk up to them and introduce yourself. I mean, you got to have look, I read a lot. I read, books every once in a while, but what I do is I read a lot more articles, um, and I follow specific people in the news. I follow their writings. I follow their teachings. The Warren Buffetts, the Sean Carters, the Robert Smiths. I follow them in their philosophies and ideologies and their moves. I listen to motivational speakers like Jonathan Sprinkles is one of my favorites local here. There's Russell Richard. He has a book on leadership, actually. Russell Richard, who is the executive director of the Center for Houston's Future, he has a book on leadership that I haven't read yet, but just knowing him, he develops leaders all the time, and you have to be a leader. Like you have to understand how to work a room, own a room, step back when you need to step back, go forward when you need to go forward. It's not all about just one specific thing, but you have to make sure that you're when you're networking, when you're leading a team, that you're constantly being the example of what you want to portray ultimately. Yes, that's the name of it. Thank you. The Secret to Building a Successful Minority-Owned Company by Ed Riley. Yes.
I found it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a really good book. It is a really good book. And he is somebody that you can draw a lot of inspiration from here locally, who's doing it, who's been doing it for a long time.
So thank you for that. The name of the book is The Secrets to Building a Successful Minority-Owned Company by Ed Ryland. So for those of you who are just joining us, we are live with Branden Morris. He is one of the co-owners of Basal Solutions and Basal Construction. So if you're just joining us, he's been dropping gems on us about things that we should be doing in business and just about working the room, about knowing the room, and the importance of collaboration. So one of the things that I know some of the business owners who may be sitting at home, what are some things that they should be doing during this time?
If you're not bettering yourself, if you're not figuring something out, learning something new, catching up on your contact list and reaching out, researching things to act upon, to educate yourself, to better yourself, then you're wasting time. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is not the time to binge watch, those old shows, which I'm not gonna lie, I did binge watch a couple of shows a little bit, but I'm still putting in that time. I actually got a contract based on this off time, just working the room, working the virtual room. Because one thing I can say is my virtual meetings have not slowed down. They've tripled, they've quadrupled, and hey, you have to still be active. You have to still be relevant, if you were never a real big social media person before and you're starting a business or you want to start a business, this is your time to, learn about different social media tools, which ones are best for your business model or best for the type of business that you want to start. If you, know that there are things that you're just not familiar with that you're not quite sure about, this is the time to YouTube. This is the time to, seek out resources and educate yourself. This is a crazy time that we're going through right now. How the small business, well, just even bigger than that, how society is going to look on the other side of this is going to be interesting. It's going to be level, I mean, like me personally, I'm not saying I'm a germaphobe, but, I still got my season tickets, for the Saints, New Orleans, what's up, Saints, New Orleans, everybody from New Orleans. Anyway, I still got my season tickets, so I'm going to be feeling some kind of way about going to these games now. I might be selling a lot more tickets this year because, hey, there's a lot of people who don't cover their mouth when they cough and sneeze. There's a lot of people that, I'm trying to get by. I don't want you touching me. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is real. We're actually losing, people that we know, friends and loved ones and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? From a business standpoint, how is that going to look? You see a lot of these companies that have sent everybody home that were, if they weren't already doing it, they were forced into beefing up their virtual meeting capabilities and their virtual access to everybody just so they can keep these companies going. So if they're able to save a substantial amount of money on renting office space when they see that the production that they're getting from the people that they send home is either the same or actually increasing in some ways, then from a
Mm-hmm.
business standpoint, what do you think that's going to really look like going forward? You know, I don't know who has bought stock in Zoom and some of these other things before this, but I know if they did get in early, you're looking pretty good right about now. I might be thinking about going short though. You know what I'm saying? That's a little free stock tips and whatnot. But anyway, my point is this: you have to really be mindful and think about what business is going to look like on the other side of this, and how can you get ahead of that curve. You know, I was on a call with my cousin earlier today, and I had called him a couple times to check on him and his family down there in League City. Now, the first time I called him, you know, it wasn't even that early in the morning. It was like 8:30, you know, and I know he's usually up. He was all knocked out and stuff. I said, okay, man, go on back to sleep. Second time, you know, he couldn't talk. So he called me back. And he said, man, I'm sorry about not answering the phone tonight, but, you know, his wife works in the school system or something. And she made a couple of masks for her sorority and, you know, or something like that. And just, I think, sold a couple of them. And they just took off. And so now he's having to help her fill
Make
orders,
mask.
you know, making masks. You see what I'm saying? Like this new venture that just came out of this, oh, let me just make one for the family. And oh, I like that. Can you make one? Sure, I make one. Well, hold on. I got 30 people in my DMs talking about making me a mask. All right, check this out. Prices just went up. Supplies are limited. You know what I'm saying? I customize a little bit more for an extra 5%, 10%. You know, I mean, you have to think in an innovative way, you know, at all times. But this is giving you an opportunity to really flex. You see what I'm saying? Don't waste this
Yeah.
opportunity. Do not waste this opportunity. Don't.
No, what you're saying is really, really true. So on last Tuesday, we had Lindsay Brantley of Camellia Elise. She normally makes skincare products, but during this time, she started making hand sanitizer. And her orders for hand sanitizer is taken off. By the way, you can get you some hand sanitizer at CameliaElise.com. They're $5 or $15, and they smell so good. I just
Nice.
want to throw that in there. And then also on Saturday, we spoke with Megan Edding of Excel Lifestyle, and she used to make anti-stink fitness apparel. Well, she started making masks, and now she's making about 9,000 masks a day. So,
Exactly.
what a way to pivot.
You got to know how to pivot. You have to know how to pivot. So I think for the newer entrepreneurs, the people who are, you know, just thinking about things before, there you have no excuses. And that's one thing about the entrepreneurial mindset. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. Someone asked about books before. There's another book that just came to mind. It's called Excuse Proof by Tracy L. James. Yeah, Excuse Proof by Tracy L. James. And in that book, she talks about, you know, all of the excuses that we put in front of us before we act, you know. So that's a good read. And that's a good read if you're somebody who is thinking about being an entrepreneur, but, you know, you haven't made that leap yet. Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. It comes down to just making that first step, you know, and then and act like you really want it. You know, one of the things that I used to do, well, I still do, with people who I consult coming through the Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center. The people who haven't started a business yet, but they're thinking about starting a business, kind of, I get the feel of, you know, who they are and how they're, you know, talking and everything like that. And I'll
Mhm.
typically, for some people, I'll recommend that they look up several articles on the mindset of an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of different questions that you have to ask yourself. And based on how you answer those questions, will really kind of tell you if you're even, you know, if you're kind of cut out for this. You know, there's some really significant ones, you know. I mean, leaving the W-2 world, you know, you're leaving a guaranteed check on the 1st and 15th. You know, I mean, you're leaving benefits and,
Benefits,
all some nice security, well, potential security because
401k,
401k.
403b.
Yes, yes, you're leaving a lot of that, So if you can't stand to not have that, this may not be for you. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. Um, I've had to liquidate, 401ks before and stocks and stuff like that just to, really kind of pour into my business because it's something I believe in. And I feel like I'm gonna get it on the back end, which I have actually. I've been able to start up a lot of my investments again, and start putting back into the market. Once I kind of, but I've been doing this for 6 years, so it took a minute. And that's another thing. Boy, me and my partner started this. So when me and my partner started, right, um, we started from different angles. I had just been laid off for the third and final time from the same company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you probably don't get that much. Like,
Oil and gas.
no, J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah, I put it out there. J.P. Morgan and those people.
Oh,
They,
wow.
not once, not twice, but 3 times, right?
Dang.
Trying to get me to relocate to Minnesota one time. I'm like, who? What? How? Well, no, I am a tropical person. Okay, I need heat and palm trees. But anyway, after that last time, I remember it was hard for me to get a job that was going to pay me, something comparable to what I was getting paid. And so I remember a friend of mine, her soon-to-be husband was looking for employment down here, and he had a skill set that complemented mine. We weren't the best at exactly the same things. We had an appreciation for each other's skill set, but he was one kind of guy, and I was another kind of guy, and we used to really mesh. So we decided to start this business.
Hmm.
And I remember our early conversations like, man, we're gonna be rich in like 18 months. Like I mean, I did this business plan. It looked so good. When I tell you, Nancy, when I tell you this business plan was like one that I could probably sell to other people and have them believing in it, it was like that, right? So I'm like looking at all the finances, like here are the projections, and man, we about to do this. Man, I got this set up, I got that set up. I could talk to this cat anytime I want to. Da, 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 da. Well, the reality is that everything does not go to plan. Here it is
No.
6 years later. I'm still not a millionaire, but I've decided to. What I did was I redefined what success could be for me. And
Hmm.
when you look at over 50% of small businesses don't make it past 5 years, and here we are in year 6. Okay, so that's a measure of success. Okay. I'm able to pay my partner and the people who work for us are able to pay our bills without working for somebody else. Okay, well, that's success. We're still
Yes.
alive. We're still in the fight. We have some big contracts pending. We got some that we're working that are keeping us alive. We got other things that are happening. So, and you got to start to enjoy, you have to enjoy the journey. Like I enjoy what I do. I love networking and chopping it up and looking for opportunities, business development, talking to people, trying to fine tune different angles in my own business and stuff like that. That's what I love to do. That's why I'm still in the fight. So you really have to answer a lot of, you got to be real with yourself, to be quite honest with you, because I knew that some of the weak points that I had in starting a business, the type of business I wanted to start, it wasn't going to make as much sense for me to try to do it by myself. So
Hmm.
when we found each other, it was like, shoot, okay, well, we complement each other here and here. We can take over the world. And we maintain it. You know what I'm saying? The takeover is coming, though. It's coming. This ain't here yet. No, hey, we still here, baby.
I got you. I got you. Look, I agree with you. When two or
Mhm.
more agree.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, just stay in the fight. Stay in, just know there's not going to always be peaches and cream, but there got ways that you can really, truly, maximize your opportunities and get by, and do more than get by and really excel. It's you one contract away. I'm gonna have to copyright that. I keep saying it. I don't want nobody else to take it. Because I can see right now you got some people looking. I'm like, no, I got that one. One contract away. If I see one name on the doggone thing trying to take my copyright, I'm coming after you. Letting you know now.
Look, I think he has a good lawyer too. I think I know who his lawyer is.
Yeah, right.
But look, you said some really good things. Of course, you've been, dropping a lot of gems. I know some of the things that I've been trying to focus on during this time is I wrote a business plan years ago. But I was like, when is the last time I looked at this business plan? Because the business plan is not something that's set in final. It's something that continues to change. It evolves as your business evolves. So I, as myself, I had to sit down and say, you know what, let me pull back up my business plan. This is what I wrote 3 years ago. Where am I at right now? What do I need to upgrade? So that's one of the things that you can work on during this time is when's the last time you looked at your business plan? When's the last time you updated it? Is it pitchable? If you wanted to approach investors, if you wanted to approach banks during this time, is it pitchable to the investors or the banks?
Right.
Another thing that I started looking at was my market analysis. Hey, has my market changed from when I first started? Yes, it has.
Mm-hmm.
What's my age range? Who am I targeting? How do I target these people? And also, I started to look at my competitors. Who are my competitors? Who am I going against? What are they doing?
Right.
What are they doing bad? What are they doing good? And I know for me, just doing those two simple things has made a huge difference in the way my mindset is set up going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I've developed a new strategy that's going to help take me to the next level. So that's one of the things that I would encourage everyone to do. And I know, Brandon, you've been working with me, and those are one of those are one of the biggest things that we've been working on is market analysis. So tell us about how important it is to know your market.
You have to know your market. I mean, basically, entrepreneurship is very simple: supply and demand. Okay. Some things you may have a strong passion for, but there's no demand for it. So you have to be real about what your offerings are. And I'm not saying you just can't offer it at all, but you got to adjust your strategy, your how you're going to roll it out. If you can find, others, potential competitors, others who are doing what you want to do, then you need to analyze them. You need to break them down. You need to see what's working for them, what's not working for them. Try to go back to their roots and see how they started, see how they've evolved, and kind of look at, what your current resources, what your current situation is, and see if that's something that, you're able to mimic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So, basically, if people are buying something and you have the opportunity to supply that, well then, supply it. But you gotta know what's out there, and don't just do it based on perception. Okay, don't make that perception your reality. Get down to the truth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
selling perception is what you do when you're in business. When you're trying to make to the next level, you're trying to get somebody to buy something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, this mouse right here is the best mouse you ever seen in your life. Let me tell you something. The finest architects and engineers across the planet. Da 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 da. I'm gonna sell you a dream, baby. You see what I'm saying? But what the reality is, man, I paid $5 for this mouse at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? About 5 years ago. I'm happy it's still working. Look, perception and reality. Okay. When it comes to your own business, you need to know what the truth is behind the services and the products that others are selling in your market, so you can even know how to price them. You may thinking that what you have is worth this much, but in reality it's worth this much, and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You got to understand your market kind of helps to dictate what your the cost of the value, or I'm sorry, the price of the value that you can put on your services. You see, so you have to know your market. Where's the market going? For those who are making the masks and the hand sanitizers and the things that are in reaction to what's going on right now, that's knowing what the market is. Okay, so now the challenge is, well, you're doing it now. What does that look like 3 months from now? What does that look like 6 months from now? Okay, will the market at some point get flooded? And is there a pivot that's going to need to happen? You see what I'm saying? These are things that you need to be aware of and think about and look at. You know, look at history. Look at the history of the market that you're in. Look at the history of the economy and how things, you know, correct themselves or you know, compensate and things of that nature. You know, so yeah, knowing your market is huge. You know, part of that knowing your market is the competitive analysis. I know I touched on that a little bit, but you really have to know who your competition is. You really have to know, you know, if you're looking at selling something or providing something or something like that, what's your competition doing? How are they doing it? And are they successful at doing it? You know, the ones that aren't successful, you still want to learn from them too, because that may be something you want to stay away from. Or you may see something that, oh, wait a minute. I'm seeing these people not being successful, but these people are. Let me break down the circumstances as to why this one is successful and this one's not. You know, I mean, that's all, you know, gaining knowledge, you know, and like Nancy was saying, when you're looking at your business plan, if you put it down 3, 4 years ago or last year and you haven't picked it up yet, you need to pick it up. It's a living document. It's a living document. Okay. Make it relevant for the times that are going on right now. Your circumstances have changed from a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So you may have access to something you didn't have access to back then that may be relevant now for your business plan. You need to update it and start acting towards it. You know, so yeah, you got to stay mindful, stay in the mix. You see what I'm saying? Keep tuning in to Avid Magazine, you know, and the Takeover Tuesday. So when she brings on these experts, you know, they dropping dimes. You dig what I'm saying? Dropping knowledge. Okay, I'm over here crossing them up. I miss live sports. I really do. God, I haven't done a sports analogy in I don't know how long. That was perfect. Yeah, bring the NBA back, baby, safely though.
Look, everybody giving you fire flames like lit.
All right, so time to point guard this thing, baby. CP3.
No, I'm with you on that. So what are some other services that you offer with Basal Solutions besides consulting? Because I know
So
y'all do
basically,
some other things.
yeah, so we do a lot. So one of the things that we offer, if you are looking to improve your processes or learn about how to be more streamlined in what you do, process improvement, um, you know, how to run a business more efficiently, cut out wasteful spending, wasteful movements, and things of that nature, we have an online resource. If you go to our website, www.basalsolutionsllc.com, and you click on our Lean Six Sigma, we call it the Basal Lean Six link within that website, you will have the opportunity to get introductory training for only $99.99. And if you DM me, I will drop that price in half if you want to take it. If you are listening to this interview and you hear my voice, okay, if you DM me and say Basal Lean 6, I'm down, I will send you a coupon for 50% off to take this online course that is normally worth $99.99. And this will give you the introductory, the foundation of Lean Six Sigma methodology. Lean Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology. We all need to know this. You know, what's the most efficient, effective, and you know, cost savings way to get to your final destination. There's a methodology behind that. Okay, that's one thing that we do. Another thing that we do is marketing. So we build websites. We do logo design. We help with marketing strategy. That's our Basal marketing department. Okay, led by Michelle Russell. Our Lean Six Sigma is led by Raymond Nelson. Michelle Russell, who has over 30 years in marketing. We will make your presence very bankable. We'll make it look professional. Okay. Now wait, our marketing is not cheap. Because why? You don't want to come across looking cheap. You don't want to come across feeling cheap. Now, there is a market for that, but that's not the market we play in. Okay. We play in a market where if you want to come across trying to attract the big fish, the executives, the people who have hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to spend on something, and they know they're not going to spend it on somebody that they perceive as not on that level. We help you look like you're on that level, okay? And there's consulting that comes along with that to to help you approach them like you're on that level. You know, there's a certain language that CEOs and executives talk to the C-suite. There's a certain language that they talk. There's a certain way that you move and how you move. Okay, so we teach that with our marketing and our branding and whatnot for that department. Our IT, if you have a company that's led by DeAndre Valentine, if you have a company, excuse me, that needs internet security, we do internet security assessments. We look at your vulnerabilities. We look at, how to better protect yourself. And we do training in all three of those categories. So, you can hire us to train and things of that nature. And then, of course, I've done trainings. We do a lot of trainings. We have a lot of subject matter experts, revenue recognition, the new credit laws that affect your credit scores and things of that nature. All things finance, all things cybersecurity, all things process improvement, and all things marketing. We consult. We actually will implement for you if you like, and things of that nature. So for Basal Solutions, that's what we do. I'm going to be so for the small business owners who are looking for financing, I know one of the contracts that I have is to help with the $10 million that has been allocated from Harris County for small businesses. If you're a small business owner looking for additional financing, you should apply. There's also other small business, loans out there besides the SBA. Excuse me, the SBA, what they have to offer. And so, those are things that we consult on as well, trying to connect you with them, walk you through the process. My background is underwriting, finances. Okay, that means that I know what they're looking for. I know what they're asking for. I know how to make you look good enough to get approved for financing. Okay, if you're looking for investors, putting investment packages together. I know what they're looking for. I know what the qualifications are. I know typically, there's venture capitalists. There's equity shareholders. There's all kinds of people who are looking for businesses to invest in, and so they speak a certain language. I know how to put that package together. I know how to pull together all the slides, all the elements that you need to look good. I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for businesses looking to fundraise and whatnot. I'm connected to those people. So, get at me, send me an email and go to the website, drop a DM, whatever. Okay. I'll respond.
Like I'm putting your social media information in there again, and I would encourage all of you to reach out to Branden. He is not just talking it, he actually walks it. He has a really extensive background. Like he said, he was in banking, he was in underwriting, he's been in oil and gas, he's worked in nonprofits, he's even worked at an art gallery.
Oh no, yeah.
So, owner of the art gallery. So this man is really the truth. And some of the small business programs that they have in Houston, he's also worked with, like Hall. Hall is a great program for anyone who's interested in starting your business and even just sitting down and kind of taking your business to the next level by redefining and rethinking some of the stuff that maybe you missed the first time. Um, like I said, Goldman Sachs, the mayor's transition team. He's done work with East End Chamber of Commerce, the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. So he is definitely more than knowledgeable in a whole bunch of areas. And I know that he's helped me personally with Avid Magazine. So that's why I asked him, I said, hey, I'm doing this Takeover Tuesdays. Can you come on in? Can I interview you? Because I'm pretty sure that more people want to know, about how they can take their business to the next level. And he said this earlier. He said it's an investment. You have to be willing to invest in you and invest in your business. And for me, one of the best investments I made in my life was in myself. and in my business. Right now, I feel like I am on my way to the next level that I've been wanting to go to for years. But because I never took the time to invest in myself, I was just going based on what I thought, and I didn't know everything, I could never get to the next level. But when I reached out for help and when I took the time to take my business serious and take myself serious, then things started to change for me. And things have been changing drastically. Why? Because I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the effort, and I'm actually going out there and I'm doing things that I said that I was never going to do. Someone said, "Oh, Kaylin said she needs to schedule another meeting with you, Branden."
Yes, you do, Kaylin. I see you over there. I'm with your boy. Come on, you know the name, you know the number. Yeah, when Nancy was talking about investments, that's either investment of money, but that's also an investment in your time. It could be just your time in learning. It's in your time in meeting with the consultants at the Urban League or the consultants at the MBDA or the consultants at the SBDC. It's you taking that time to actually, reach out and hey, say, look, I need help. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. And then following up. It all falls down, rests on y'all's shoulders. Okay, but look, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So, hey, get out there and do it. It's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day.
It really wasn't.
Well, Branden, give us your contact information one more time. Tell us how we can follow you, how we can reach out to you. I have pinned the website at the bottom, but I will also pin his email address just in case y'all want to reach out to him about any of his services. And really, I do encourage you guys to reach out to him. He is the best. I'm telling you, he's the best.
Well, thank you,
But go
Nancy.
ahead and give us your contact information.
So you can contact me. I prefer email just because it definitely allows me the time to get back with people. And you can reach me at Branden, that's Branden, at basalsolutionsllc.com. That's the best way. Or if you want to DM me on the Basal Solutions Instagram account, I'm always checking that account. If you have questions, if you want to schedule an appointment, if you are a part of I do start with a free consultation if you're enrolled in the Urban League's Entrepreneurship Center. I'll just send you an application so you can get enrolled. It's free. And so that they can sponsor you and we can talk. Let's talk about it. Like Nancy was saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to start by taking that first step.
Does anyone have any questions before we end? Now is the time to ask him, or you can always email him. His email address is pinned at the bottom, but I did want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions before we end our live today. We are so appreciative of having Branden with us, taking time out of his really busy schedule because he has been working really hard during this time. I know that his schedule has been really busy, so I do appreciate you taking out the time to talk to Avid Magazine and drop some jewels. We really appreciate that.
Hey, look, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Nancy, for having me here on Avid Magazine's feed, and it's really I appreciate it. I love talking to small business owners. I love helping small business owners. Because the way I look at it, this is our opportunity to create our own circle of wealth, and it starts by sharing the information and encouraging each other and helping each other out.
You're right about that. So thank everyone for joining Takeover Tuesdays. Please make sure that if you're not already following the Avid Magazine, please make sure that you follow it. Also go and follow Basal Solutions at Basal_Solutions on Instagram. Also, please make sure that you reach out to Mr. Branden Morris if you have any questions or if you want to consult with him. Please make sure that you send him an email. As usual, we'll be back on Tuesdays, and you can also look for different videos and more information about Basal Solutions on our social media for the rest of today. Thank you so much. Bye, you guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Takeover Tuesdays.